Minute? Okay. Good afternoon. I'm calling to order the Special Planning Commission meeting. It is 4 p.m. on Thursday, December 2nd, 2021. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the October 28th meeting. Are there any changes, additions, corrections?
I'll offer a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes have been approved. The Public Planning Commission is looking at the conditional use permit to consider for approval the application of Kathleen Backer requesting additional use permit to allow the location of a residential dwelling in the downtown B2 Service Business Zoning District. This property is legally described as Lot 8, Block 67, south of Center Street. The street address of the property is 125 South Broadway. City report?
Okay, the property in question is located at the northeast corner of the intersection of 2nd South Street, South Broadway. Deadline for decision on this matter is January 15th, 2022. Comprehensive plan designates the property as downtown. Surrounding land uses found in the comprehensive plan: to the north and east, it's downtown, and to the west and south, medium-density residential and low-density residential. Property is zoned B2, which is a service business district. Surrounding zoning: to the north, it's B2. To the east, it's B3, which is a general business district. To the south is R2, which is a single and two-family residence district. And to the west, it's B1, which is a limited business district. Current site use: a former church now used on the upper level for weddings and celebrations of life, such as baptism and anniversaries, take place there. And on the lower level, receptions related to the activities that take place on the above level can occur. Area land uses include: to the north, Nielsen Heating and Air Conditioning, Newham Chiropractic, and other service businesses. To the east, single-family dwellings. To the south and west are single and two-family dwellings. Notice was provided to all property owners within 350 feet of the subject property and was published in the Journal on November 20th, 2021. Public comments, none have been received to date. Project description. The property owner is proposing to convert the lower level dining room into a single one-bedroom apartment unit. The upper level would continue to be used for the activities listed in the current site land use line item of the application and of this report. The City Council, at its December 17th, 2019 meeting, approved amending the city code to allow apartments in a downtown B2 zoning district through a conditional use permit process. The approved amendment can be viewed in attachment 5. Parking for the apartment unit would be located at the east end or rear of the property. There is space for 3 parking stalls, and access to the stalls would be provided by the alley. City code requires 1.5 off-street parking stalls per dwelling unit. A total of 2 stalls, therefore, would be required for this request. The building currently lacks on-site parking for upper floor activities. This situation has existed for a significant period of time. Aerial photographs from 1939 show no adjoining parking areas. They do show residential units to the north and east of the property. The church was built in 1905 with an addition constructed in 1961. Project considerations. In order to recommend approval of the request, the commission will need to determine that it complies with 2 different sets of criteria. The first set is found in section 9.82, subdivision 2 of the city code, and these criteria are also listed on the back of the application form. These criteria are used to evaluate most conditional use permit requests. The second set is found on section 910, subdivision 3C of the city code. This set of criteria are found in attachment 5. Only one item from this set impacts this request. The applicant's property is located in block 67 south of Center Street. The west half of this block is zoned B2. The east half is zoned B3. Block 67 South has a variety of land uses, including the following: an apartment building with 7 dwelling units, a business with 1 dwelling unit, an office with a dwelling unit, a vacant lot, 2 single-family residences, 2 businesses with 2 dwelling units, a business with 1 dwelling unit, and then 3 separate businesses that are standalone. There are a total of 12 apartment units currently in Block 67 South. And by apartment units, we also include the single-family dwellings in that number. Attachments include the application, zoning map showing the location of the property. Attachment 3 is the property location map and proposed parking area. Attachment 4 are ground level photographs of the property. And attachment 5 is ordinance number 19-35, which is the one that establishes the potential for residential dwelling units in the B2 zoning district. Staff would recommend approval of the request for the following reasons. Number 1, the application complies with the criteria identified in section 9.82, subdivision 2. Number 2, the application complies with the criteria required in section 910, subdivision 3C. The applicant will provide 2 parking stalls on site for use by the occupant. Number 3, the apartment would be compatible with other residential and business land uses in the area. 4, the apartment would not adversely impact other area land uses. And 5, the residential use would replace a potentially more intense institutional space, that being a reception area that's or a dining area in the basement. Conditions, the applicant property owner will pay the cost to record the permit with the Brown County Recorder's Office. 2, any increase in the number of bedrooms or any new apartment units on the property will require a new conditional use permit. And staff would recommend a third condition, and that is that the applicant property owner will provide 2 parking stalls for the occupants of the residential unit. Then potential motions are provided, one to recommend approval and the other to recommend denial. I also wanted to comment on the criteria that we have in the ordinance that allows residential units in the B2. There actually are 4 criteria. There's really only one that applies in this case, but we can go through all of them and see their what they are and their potential application in this case. The first is the requirement for parking, and so that requirement has been met. The second is that there is supposed to be a minimum floor area for a business that is no less than 60% of the total main floor area and shall be no less than 850 square feet in size. And so think of, a commercial building, and that you have to apply that then to the business part of the building. Well, in this case, the business part of the building is actually the main floor. The residential part is going to be in the lower level. So that criteria really doesn't apply, but even if it did, it would meet that criteria. The third criteria is that the minimum dwelling unit size is 400 square feet for an efficiency apartment and 520 square feet for a 1-bedroom apartment. In this particular case, the unit's going to have approximately 1,543 square feet. And so that more than meets those standards. But again, it's in the basement, which, so therefore the criteria technically don't apply. Then the fourth is that the residential space in the structure may not face the front of the building. And so again, it complies with that requirement. That would conclude the staff report.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from?
I've got a question for staff. If we received any phone calls or written responses from the community on this?
None.
Yep.
Not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'd move to approve the recommendation with staff conditions.
I would second.
I have a motion and a second for approval with conditions. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? When does this go before the council?
Next Tuesday, which would be
Next-
December 7th.
Okay. Next Tuesday?
Yes.
Is that okay with you, Kathy? Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Yeah, yeah. Next item on the agenda is the status of revisions to the zoning ordinance. Zoning update for November 2021's staff.
Okay. Some of the notable items that have been completed is, with the Planning Commission, we have gone through chapters 1 all the way into almost 3/4 of chapter 9. And we've reviewed chapter 13. So we've gone through a significant portion of the updated ordinance. There is a total of 13 chapters in the entire ordinance, so we're nearing the finish line. Chapters 1 through 9 and 11 through 13 and a good portion of chapter 10 of the development standards have been reviewed by the city attorney and staff. The items that are still in process, staff is researching certain items in chapters 9, which is the uses chapter, and then also chapter 10, the development standards. And that research is ongoing. A lot of that is fairly detailed research and takes a little bit of time. Some items we intend to complete within the month here is fully complete chapters 1 through 13 and have them reviewed by the city attorney. So that would be the entire ordinance. And then review any unresolved issues identified by either the city attorney or the planning commission, and then take final action on those items. The planning commission and staff will conduct a work session tonight after the regular planning commission meeting. But it is likely we're going to need another work session, probably two, to complete this task. Part of that is I've had a little, let's call it a little bump in the road here. The city attorney has had some personal issues they need to attend to, and therefore we haven't, as staff, been able to complete some of the reviews that are necessary for the remaining chapters here. Because we haven't been able to review them, some of those portions with the city attorney, we're going to be holding off on bringing that to the planning commission. So that might delay things here a little bit. We're probably looking at having the public hearing by the planning commission on the ordinance at the December 30th planning commission meeting. So that it's going to be moved down a little bit, which would therefore result in the ordinance going to the city council on January 4th. So that's a change in what we were planning on before, but to be honest with you, there isn't much of a way around that right now with some of these issues.
If I could just briefly mention, we had 9 hours of staff time booked with the city attorney this week that we lost. And so, we've got to make that up sometime in the future. So that's what is holding us back a little bit at this time.
Right. We would like to schedule those next two work sessions, and we could either try to schedule that tonight. We'd be looking the week of December 13th, and then either at the end of that week or the following week. We could try to schedule that now, or I can send out a doodle if that works best for everybody else. Look at your schedules. Do that? Okay. I'll send out a doodle poll tomorrow.
Yeah, would be helpful. Thanks.
Okay. Sounds great. So that would conclude the report on the zoning ordinance update.
Yeah, I think maybe in line with what the information that was previously provided, it might be appropriate for the planning commission to set the public hearing date on the new zoning ordinance for December 30th at this time. Then there's public notice that that's when it's going to take place, rather than us just putting it on the agenda for that meeting.
Do you want to make a motion to set it, or can we just set it?
I'll offer,
I have a question on that. Will the final zoning ordinance be available before that public meeting for citizens to review if they want?
That's what our intent is.
It would be online,
Online?
correct?
We could have it online, and then we'd also make it available in our office if anybody wanted to read it.
Thanks. Yep, that's great.
If you think that the time that's waiting at the moment to meet with the attorney will still allow you, if it'll still allow enough time for that to be completed by the 30th, then I'd say we should do it, and I guess we'll postpone if we have to.
Yeah, we hope that's not the situation. I guess
Right.
that is that
Still an
we may
unknown.
have to do. That's
Yeah.
an alternative if that happens.
Right, okay.
So, and this is the 30th is our regular meeting, correct?
The commission's regular meeting. We don't have any agenda items at this time.
That
for
would be
meeting.
fine.
what kind of time frame do we have to give a public hearing notice for this?
Well, we have to publish it 10 days before the hearing, and normally then if if it's to be published on a Saturday, which is typically what happens with planning commission items, notice has to go to the newspaper the Thursday before.
Okay.
So if we put it on the agenda now, it doesn't matter if it doesn't happen?
It probably still would be on the agenda, it's just that you would take any
would-
action
I
if
wouldn't
that's
take
what
action.
your
All right.
decision was.
Okay.
Do we need a motion to put this on the agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be appropriate.
I'll offer a motion to set the public hearing for December 30th at our regular planning commission meeting to hear the new ordinance review.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of setting the zoning ordinance review for December 30th, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? It is on the agenda. Following is reports. City council decision regarding planning commission matters.
Okay, at the November 2nd meeting, the commission approved the simple lot division of Lot 7, Block 123, north of Center Street with conditions. And that property is the location of Peterson Auto. And, you know, that would facilitate breaking that block up into two pieces, or allow for two different ownerships. Council also had first consideration of ordinance 2021-47, which authorized the rezoning of the property at 2010 South Broadway from B1 to B2, and that was to accommodate a plumbing business. And the second consideration and then vote on that ordinance, that took place at the November 16th meeting, and it was approved unanimously. Some non-planning commission items that you may find of interest. One is that the city council approved the city engineer's 2022 capital improvement plan. Again, I would say there's a strong emphasis on reconstruction of existing infrastructure, both utilities and streets. We will, however, also extend streets into the new industrial park area to open up some property there. On a different item, they received and ordered filed a recommendation from the Safety Commission that they would not recommend ordering in sidewalk on 9th South Street from Washington to the alley, and that was associated with a simple lot division request that you considered previously. And so that area would remain as is. That would conclude our report.
Okay, Heritage Preservation, no meeting, okay. Is there any other business to come before the commission? If not, I'd like to thank you guys for doing all the work that you've done on the zoning ordinance to date. I mean, you know, we've put in a lot of hours. I can't imagine that you haven't put in that many more, so thank you for what you have done to date, and then this meeting is adjourned. Where do you want to?
But don't leave yet.